Good morning, everyone. This is Julie McDonald with Microcom Technologies, and I would like to thank all of you for attending today's webinar with Cambium Networks. Today's host is Jadish Girjamaji, and he is the Senior Director of Product Line Management, and he'll be presenting today. If anyone has any questions, please submit them in the question box, and Jadish will answer them at the end of today's presentation. Jadish, thank you so much for being with us today. I'm finished for now. Please go ahead and take it on over.
Perfect. Thank you, Julie, and hello, everyone. Sorry for the late start. We had some technical difficulties, but we'll make it meaningful and purposeful for you. So this is getting a bit deeper on Network Service Edge. Cambium introduced this product a month ago, and we are shipping this product. And I'll go through the details on what it is, what's the value proposition, what the target markets are, and so on. But let's get started. So Network Service Edge, NSE, and so what is Network Service Edge? It's basically a converged WAN edge security and network services delivery platform. And I'll go through each section in detail. So the first pillar of this platform, Network Service Edge, is SDWAN. It provides routing capabilities, and at this point we have static routing. It does WAN load balancing. So if you, for the two WAN links we have, you could do load balancing. There is automatic failover. You could use one WAN link as a backup. You could do traffic shaping based on applications. So your Netflix could get lower bandwidth, or maybe just assign that to one particular WAN link. Your video calls can get higher priority, and so on. You get the point, right? So two WAN links, you can load balance. Based on application types, you could do bandwidth control and apply QoS policies. So that's one pillar of this platform. So it's that SD-WAN. The next capability is a robust set of security functions. Starts off with a built-in firewall. So it has a built-in firewall. It provides IDS, intrusion detection and intrusion prevention capabilities. And we update the signatures every 12-24 hours. And you have, and as customers, you have the option to choose what frequency you want signatures getting updated. There's also the client to site VPN that's available. And then the other unique things, and to me, these are all table stakes stuff for any unified threat management or security appliance. We also provide on the LAN side, both for wired and wireless devices, a LAN vulnerability scan. So basically, there'll be a periodic scan to make sure that devices that are on the LAN, on the local area network, are not vulnerable, right? Or providing a security threat. And we will get into the details of what it does. And then we also have IoT security. And as you know, there's a lot of IoT devices. So there's a large proliferation of IoT devices, and getting visibility to these devices and assessing their security posture is critical. And in phase one, in the product that is shipping today, what we provide is IoT visibility. And we'll talk about that in just a moment, more details. The one that's at the very bottom of this second pillar, which is Zero Trust Network Access, I've bolded it because we plan to introduce it, but it's not there in the product that is shipping today. But it is a roadmap, and it will come in the future. The last pillar is network services, things like DHCP, Radius, DNS server. It's all built in, and so you don't need separate services for this. So that's in a nutshell what NSE is. So it's a converged device that provides these three capabilities. And at the very bottom, you see the unit. Just to go over the details, the sort of form factor and the details. It's a wall mount tabletop version. It's got two WAN ports, one Gbps, both copper and SFP ports. It's got 4 LAN ports, all 1 Gbps, RJ45 ports. It's got USB 3.0 ports, and that we will, if the ports are there, and we will make them available on the next release, meaning you can plug in an LTE USB dongle and have WAN as an LTE as a failover WAN link. So that's the look and feel of how the appliance is. In terms of how this is set up, the service architecture, you can see that it is the device itself, the NSC 3000, will be on premises. You've got the two WAN links shown there, ISP1, ISP2, connects to CN Maestro in the cloud, and then the CN Maestro on the back end subscribes to a bunch of databases like geo-IP locationing, for DNS categorization, vulnerability database, and IoT device identification. These are all services that CN Maestro subscribes to, and the policies are pushed to the device on premises, and think of that as a policy enforcer. So that will do the policy enforcement. And from an architecture perspective, you need that NSC 3000, the hardware appliance, combined with subscription to CN Maestro, that gets you these other access to these databases and gives you the most current signatures and so on, right? So that's how the unit is set up, and the architecture is the makeup of the architecture. Why is Cambium introducing NSE? I mean, what is not there in the industry that we are trying to accomplish? Just good to understand where we are coming from, so that it is clear where we want to go. Right. So if you look at large enterprises, these are services that are available today. Right. So there's a lot of stuff that large enterprises get, but medium-sized and small enterprises do not. And what do they not get? Things like zero trust network access that I talked about, ZTNA, IoT security is not available, LAN security assessment, you have to purchase a separate tool. There is no single pane management across the branch office. So these are things that are missing from a medium enterprise today, and Cambium's goal is to deliver these services that are readily available to medium-sized enterprises. To large enterprises, to small and medium-sized enterprises at the right price point. That's the motivation for Cambium to develop NSC. I want to sort of click on each of those three pillars that I discussed in terms of what is SD-WAN, right? So obviously there's failovers. So remember, there's two WAN links. It detects failovers by pinging an external host like 8.8.8.8, which is Google, and then you can also have configurable failovers so that you don't have false positives. There's load balancing across the WAN links, and there's multiple modes. There's either the shared mode or the backup mode, or you can completely disable and just use one WAN link. Then you can apply traffic shaping based on IP, subnet. Generally, people do application-based and category-based, right? So that's in a nutshell what SD-WAN provides, right? We talked about it in the past, but here's a bit more detail. On the LAN vulnerability assessment, and this is a pretty powerful feature, but keep in mind that this is not something that typically comes with a security appliance or a UTM device, and these are sort of KPIs that we provide. But you can see that this is just a dashboard from CN Maestro. It look at all the devices, both wired, wireless on the LAN side, and then flag if there is a vulnerability. Pretty useful stuff because now you know you're not just protecting the WAN and having a firewall, but also you have a layer of protection for your LAN for the devices that are connected. You could have somebody walking into the enterprise or small medium office with a Windows laptop with a Windows 10 version, for instance, that has known vulnerability, and this scan actually will pick it up and alert, right? So and also provide recommended remediation. As a view on IoT visibility, like I said, IoT is a blind spot. More IoT devices coming into the enterprise. And how do you sort of understand what is there? The first objective is to get visibility, right? And we do that by accessing an external database which is kept current, and then we will match the signature or the fingerprint, and then call out that device so that you know what device, what IoT device is connected to your network. At this point, we're only providing visibility, and the visibility and later on, obviously, you can see and think where the story will evolve. We can provide some actionable things, like if it's a device that you don't want to connect, you can quarantine that, you can shut that off, or maybe you'll need a firmware upgrade that needs to be forced on it. But at this point, it's visibility. Quickly on the security dashboard, and just to highlight, so this is a security dashboard. You can see at the very top, it gives you a score of the security posture. It'll give you the attack activity across the regions, and then also will provide you where the attack is coming from, and you can see the colored portions on the map there. And then now moving on to that second pillar, which is the security portion. So there's the firewall, layer 3, layer 7 ACLs, denial of service protection is there. We also have geo IP blocking, meaning if you want traffic from a certain region, from a certain country, just for example, if you don't want anything coming from or going to Russia, you can geo IP block it, right? And then NAT, one-to-one, one-to-many network address translation is supported. On the IDS, IPS, we are using Snort, and we have a Snort community signatures, and that is updated either 12 or 24 hour automatically updated. You can also purchase the paid version of Snort, which is called Snort VRT, for more emerging threats, right? So that's basically what it is, and that is something that you purchase externally by the customer purchases, and the system will install. It's not through Cambium. What Cambium will provide is the Snort community and the emerging threats open version, right? Then moving on, some details on how these things are configured, but in the interest of time, you will have the slides, but I will skip this. On the last one, which is the network services, just talk about what's the benefit of having a built-in radius, right? Typically, companies will use an external radius server for WPA2 authentication for wireless devices and users. Now, the same authentication, because you've got a built-in radius server, you can use the same credentials for VPN, right? So for VPN access. So that's a nice tie-in, and you don't need an external radius server. It comes built in. What is the value proposition? So just to round this up, the first thing is obviously it's a converged edge device, right? So it's got SDWAN capabilities with application-based traffic shaping, built-in firewall. We talked about IDS, IPS, the Snort, and community signatures that you get every 12, 24 hours. We do DNS-based filtering. And this is unlike SSL inspection. There's obviously lots of issues with SSL inspection, with browsers becoming smarter. So we have decided to just do DNS-based filtering. And then we talked about the network services, DHCP, DNS, and radius, right? So that's one value proposition. The second set of value proposition, it's simple to use and deploy. And once you start to play with this, you will realize how easy it is to set up and configure and get this thing going. It also integrates nicely with Cambium Wi-Fi and switching, and you have a single pane of management through CN Maestro. Right? So that's the second value proposition. The third one is we talked about the LAN vulnerability assessment. So unlike a classic security appliance, this also gives you another layer of protection for your LAN devices, both wired and wireless, inside the LAN. And then finally, the new secure threat on the OT side and IoT side, devices becoming more prevalent. You need to start with visibility and then ultimately security. And we do the visibility through external services that we subscribe to, and that's all based on AI identification and monitoring. Okay, so that's the value proposition. In terms of the parts list and the SKUs, there's the NSE 3000, that's the appliance, and there's an MSRP there. And then to go with the appliance, you always need a subscription for CN Maestro, and that comes in 1, 3, or 5 years. And with the subscription, you also get Cambium Care Pro, which is 24/7 technical support and software updates and upgrades. Right? So you always will need the appliance plus one 3 or 5 year term subscription. It comes with Cambium Care Pro, but if you want to upgrade to advanced support, which means the hardware is covered, and in most cases customers want advanced replacement, you can purchase the next set of SKUs for either 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, or 4 year. And then the final SKU is, and then there's also the extended warranty. The appliance comes with a 1 year standard warranty, and then you can purchase extensions to that warranty. That is my last slide. Julie, to you, and then any questions, happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Jadish, for that wonderful presentation. And yes, we've got some questions for you. If you don't mind, let's get started with the first one. Regarding NSE, is this fully free, or are there a prime version or cost for it?
Yeah, so I think the appliance obviously is priced, and you can see the list price is $775. That's MSRP, the list price. And then with that, you will have to purchase the Maestro subscription. I think the question was, will it work with CN Maestro Essentials? That's the way I sort of read that question. The answer is you will always need a CN Maestro subscription. The unit can be in a CN Maestro Essentials account, but NSE itself will require a subscription.
Thank you very much, Jadish, for that information. Next question here for you. And you may have already answered it, but this question says, will this only work with CN Maestro enabled devices?
Yeah, so let me again double click on that. So this will work. So let's just take an example to make it very clear. So let's say you have a CN Maestro Essentials account, and for folks that don't know what CN Maestro Essentials is basically the free version of CN Maestro. And the question is, in an Essentials account, let's just say you have 10 access points, 1 CN Matrix switch, you're not paying for CN Maestro. Can you insert NSE into that account with the NSE subscription? The answer is yes, right? You don't need subscription for all the devices. It will work in an Essentials account, but NSE itself always requires a subscription.
Thank you very much, Jadish. Next question here for you. Can you run site surveys with the management software?
Julie, can you repeat that? Sorry, I missed.
Yes, of course. Can you run site surveys with management software?
I think this is a purely enterprise play, and we have a separate tool for Wi-Fi Designer on the enterprise side, but that's a separate tool, and nothing to do with NSC. That's about it. I don't know if I'm fully getting the gist of that question, but 2 different products, they're not integrated, if that's the question.
That's Jadish, I got a correction. I got an update regarding that last question. Regarding site surveys, can the software run spectrum analysis?
No, it cannot run spectrum analysis, and also the software is we are not offering a virtual machine. This always comes with the appliance and the firmware.
Thank you very much, Jadish. Next question here. Regarding lot visibility, will you be able to remotely shut down devices?
So will you be, and let's just take an example, right? So if we find on the LAN side, let's say this comes with the LAN vulnerability assessment, and let's go back to that slide here just a moment, and
okay.
let's look at this one, right? So you're running IDS IPS. you've got a balanced view. And again, let me show you my screen. I mean, pointer where I'm looking at this. You've set it as balanced, and then you get the CVSS score of greater than 9 and CVA from last additional sets. So the question is, can you shut it off? Can you act on it? On the security front, you can act. You can disable the device. And you can also apply policies, right? You can say, look, if the score is X, take that action. You can either shut it off, or you can go do something yourself, or you can choose to ignore.
Thank you very much, Jagdish. Next question is regarding the security dashboard. Regarding the view of the security dashboard, if someone wants to see devices, or if they were attacked, like you had mentioned, can we see by whom and the actual coding behind it? Then the graphics. Is that possible?
Again, I want to emphasize that this is an enterprise product, and it is not sitting or looking at SMs or home activity in the home. Think of this as something that would be useful for a dentist's office or a doctor's office, or a small medium business like a credit union. So that's the target market for this appliance and for the solution. It is not the home that's sitting behind a subscriber module, for instance. That's not the use case, and that's not the sort of target market.
I understand. Thank you so much, Jagdish. Couple more questions. Regarding the warranty, and you did mention it, but does it also come with physical damage or insurance claims?
It comes with the standard warranty for 1 year, and the warranty basically would allow for replacements, and then the advanced Cambium Care Advanced. What that does is, no questions asked, we will ship a new unit the next business day, right? Warranty is for repairs, and the customer doesn't have a unit when it's been sent back for repair. With the purchase of Cambium Care Advanced, you have no questions asked, next business day ship on hardware.
Excellent. Thank you, Jagdish. Last question for you. Can we go to your website and find where to contact Cambium Networks for customer service support and technical support and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go to support.cambiumnetworks.com, and it has a good bit of information. Not only can you reach out to folks for help, but also there's a section called knowledge base, and there's a lot of good stuff based on the product selection. And just to give you an example, for NSE, we've created a new category called security and SDWAN. Under that, you will find a good bit of collateral, training material, presentations, white papers, and so on. And that's the same sort of a story for all the products and that Cambium has in its portfolio.
Jagdish, thank you so much for answering all of those questions for us today. And thank you to everyone attending our webinar. And if anyone has any further questions, please feel free to contact your sales rep, or you can email us at sales@microcomtech.com. And please remember, this webinar presentation has been recorded and will be uploaded to our Microcom YouTube channel so you can view it again. Jagdish, thank you so much for your time and all of your valuable information. We greatly appreciate it. And until next time, we'll talk to you again. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.